Hi, hello. It is the 17th of August. I am here the day after finishing Her Story and Hypnospace Outlaw, and I am finally about to play Blueprints, which kind of burst onto the scene this year. It was there was a lot of buzz around it. Oh, that is okay. Cool. I have the saves that I want. We're going to be doing this completely from scratch, of course. But because of the way this game is set up, finding done might be difficult. So I've allotted the rest of this month. That's about 2 weeks for playing Blueprints and trying to get as much as I can about archives out of it. And I'll mention more about what I mean by that after this.
Herbert S. Sinclair of the Mount Holly Estate at Reddington, do publish and declare this instrument my last will and testament, and hereby revoke all wills and codicils heretofore made by me. I give and bequeath to my grandnephew, Simon P. Jones, son of my dear niece, Mary Matthew, all of my right, title, and interest in and to the house and land which I own near Mount Holly. The above provision and bequest is contingent on my aforementioned grandnephew discovering the location of the 46th room of my 45-room estate. The location of the room has been kept a secret from all the staff and servants of the manor, but I am confident that any heir worthy of the Sinclair legacy should have no trouble uncovering its whereabouts within a timely manner. Should my grandnephew fail to uncover this room or provide proof of his discovery to the executors of my will, then this gift shall lapse. In witness whereof I have hereunto set my hand this 18th day of March, 1993. Herbert S. Sinclair.
Damn, maybe I should have started playing this tomorrow. Make it the 18th. Well, it's not March, so that wouldn't really work anyway. So, here I am, or I suppose here Simon is. We're ready to explore this mansion. Look at this, it's gorgeous. You found the Mount Holly blueprint. This will serve as a useful map and inventory log during your adventure. You may access the blueprint menu by pressing tab. Looks neat. This is where I am now, the entrance hall. And this is the antechamber. And here is a letter for me. Open only in the event of my death. Simon, welcome to Mount Holly. You may not remember, but I have fond memories of your many visits here as a young boy, and I hope these rooms provide you with as much amusement as it did in those lost summer days. By the time you read this, I will assume you are fully aware of my last wishes and all the details of the bequest. Please do not mistake my intentions in giving you this challenge as a lack of confidence. I assure you, nothing could have been further from my mind when I chose you as my heir. With that said, there are a few ground rules of this commission covered in the fine print of my will that I feel I should bring to your attention. No tools or items may be brought onto the estate from the outside. Tools and items found on the estate may not be taken off the estate. You may not stay overnight. I don't suspect that any of these stipulations should prove an impediment for someone as resourceful as yourself, but it is very important to me that you start fresh each morning and do not rely on the successes of the previous day. One final word of advice. Do not assume the rooms you find today will be the same rooms you find tomorrow. These grounds have provided me a home for the last half-century, and even I am uncertain of which room lies beyond any particular door. Your grandmother used to say, "Don't go where the path leads. Abandon the path and go where you want it to lead." With all my love and wishes, best of luck. Herbert S. Sinclair. There have been so many dead people in the last few games that I've played for this, and here we have another. Thankfully, this time there was no murder or accident involved. This was just, as far as I am aware, a legitimate, normal death. So, and it happened in the past tense, so it's well, to be fair, the murder in her story was also in past tense, but all of the things that we were looking at there were basically right after. They were videos from, like, the police investigation 6 months after the murder, I think, or possibly even sooner than that. Here, well, this is actually a pretty fresh death, I guess. So, maybe not all that past tense, but a lot of the things that we will find in this house were touched by our grand uncle sometime before his death, while he was preparing for his death. This was not an unforeseen thing. So, now that we have established what we're doing here, let me tell you a bit more about my conditions, I suppose, for this game. Because, as you have just heard, the house, the layout, is gonna change. So there's no guarantee that we will find the archive room in any given run. Which, could be interesting. It could take a while, or it could take not a while. And beyond that, there is not just the one archive. There are many places within this house where records have been kept and stored and arranged. And so you could even argue that the house itself is an archive, and the house as an archive is a theme that I've definitely seen before in the literature that I've read for my lit review. So it'll be pretty interesting to, I think, discuss this game from that perspective as well. Now, I do have to note that at this time, I am playing. Is it in the game settings? I don't actually think it is. I don't even remember if I saw it on the menu screen. But I am playing on, I believe this is patch 1.05.1. And apparently there is going to be a patch 1.10 at some point, 1.10, which should be like the final definitive experience. So I am not playing the final definitive experience. It has not yet been released. So I don't know if anything will change in between now and that time. well, sorry, I don't know if that final patch will change anything to do with my conclusions and the way that I interpret the game in terms of, like, in the framing of, is this an archive, right? So, that is something to be aware of. And the other thing that I mentioned, it will be hard to know when we are done with this. So there is, I have played this before, as I have with both of the other games before I, decided that, yeah, these are suitable. This one more recently, of course, given that it was only released this year and not in, like, 2019 for Hypnospace Outlaw or 2015 for Her Story. I played those roughly at those times when they were first released. But this, having been released quite recently, I still have reasonably fresh memory of what I've seen, what I already know. I haven't forgotten much. And so just, like, take a moment and have a look at how pretty that is. Gosh. So the thing that I think is the thing that I will be able to call done, I suppose. I think I will call it done if, firstly, if it takes too long to get the stuff that I want, then obviously I kind of have to call it done anyway, but I found there is an aquarium room in this villa, and you can drain the water out of it so that, the fish aren't swimming around in the tanks anymore. And doing that reveals some drawings within the tanks, which have been set up to look like various rooms within the house. And one of those rooms was the archive. And so I would like to figure out what is going on with that particular clue with the archive in the aquarium. Once I find that, which I imagine will take a while because I've already sunk like 50 plus hours into this game and I still haven't figured it out. Once I figured that out, I think that's when I can call it done. Incidentally, I think there should be relatively fewer cuts for coughing fits today than yesterday because I feel mostly a bit better. So, that is my thoughts on how I will approach this. Searching the estate can be exhausting. Each time you enter a room, you will lose one step. You can probably see that I've already had some step decrease from exploring outside and taking in the sights out there. When you no longer have any steps left, you will be too tired to continue searching the manor and must call it a day. Yep. So, shall we start exploring the manor? Let's get to it. So here is one of the main, I suppose, gameplay loops. Find a door, draft a room, enter the room, look for things of interest. There are a lot of papers just lying around, but there are other things as well, like items. And then find the next room, draft the next room, look inside for things that might be useful, and so on. There's a bit more to it than that. There is meta progression, but This is the moment-to-moment gameplay loop. Greetings from Reddington. It's a pretty cute-looking place, isn't it? Here we have a trunk. The trunk is locked. I don't have any keys, so there's not much that I can do with that. And I think I mentioned in her story, this is the kind of game where I, of all people, felt like I should take notes, and I am not usually a note-taking kind of gamer. So that's, and I've heard anecdotally that this has happened to other people as well. So, interesting, right? Bridget, please pick up some more fruit before Friday, as we have just been informed that we may have an extra guest exploring the house next week. 50 steps should be more than enough, so I think an even spread would be ideal. 5 apples, 5 bananas, 5 oranges. The enclosed amount should cover expenses, but please bring back any change from the order and leave it in the pantry. Which is where we are now. This, this implies that, like, steps, measuring things in steps is an actual thing that they do in universe. There are a lot of interesting things like that. Oh my god, it's the parlor. I have not actually seen the parlor like this for ages. This is default parlor. You found a rather curious wind-up key, a component of the parlor game. May the 2nd. Dear Herbert, it was a great honor receiving the invitation to dine at your estate with the Oldhams this past Thursday. If I'm being frank, it had been quite a while since we had been seen in decent society, and we were beginning to worry that my wife's wit had lost its charm. I have no delusions that my company is rival to hers. If I can refresh your memory, we both spent much of that evening discussing our mutual love of games and puzzles, and I had mentioned to you a rather singular parlor game I had played some years back, involving 3 boxes of different colours. You had pressed me to write with the particulars of this game, when I found the time, and I have included with this letter all the details you will need to share with guests, should you be inclined to play this confounding game. Always your friend, M. Lowry. There will always be at least one box which displays only true statements. There will always be at least one box which displays only false statements. Only one box has a prize within. The other 2 are always empty. It's a basic logic game that slowly gets less basic the more you play. So this is obviously false. All 3 boxes are empty. That can't be true. This box and the blue box are empty. Who knows? The black box contains gems. I mean, both of these are pointing to the black boxes containing the gems, so... there you go. Here is one of our currencies. It is a special currency. But... let's see. The Nook. This Nook is pretty cute. Here is... a journey noteworthy. As you continue on your adventure, you may want to consider getting something to scribble down your notes and observations. A pad, scrap of paper, or perhaps most fittingly a journal will prove to be an invaluable tool you will not regret having beside you on your journey. You can see that there are some scribbles down here. You can actually look at those in more detail if you find a magnifying glass. So, you know, that's good to know about. Corridor is always left unlocked. Let's just grab some items with the closet. Oh, it's a key card. Nice. You found an electronic key card. Opens electronically powered security doors. Yep, we have electricity. We have electronics as well. Well, obviously we have electricity. I mean, look at these lamps. This is not so olden times, I think. but it's just that the structure and the way that this place looks can kind of fool you a little, I guess. Yep, see, so here's what you use gems for. They are some special rooms require you to pay a cost in gems as well. I'll come through here later. Let's go to the observatory. Let's use a gem. Hello, it is the observatory. There is a book here. I like books. This is The Fixed Stars, The Stargazer's Companion to Constellations by Richard Witt. Fen Aries, Bird and Sons Publishing, 1809, so this is a little bit old. Preface. This book contains a complete starbase, a list of constellations, and the observed effects that accompany the appearance of each one. Depending on the number of stars that can be seen in the sky on any given day, different constellations of various sizes may be visible, sometimes more than one on a single day. This book, a solid base for astronomy, will help you easily identify these constellations, impress your friends, and discover the joy of stargazing. The North Star gives you 1 gold. The Twins add 2 trunks to the entrance hall. The Slice gives you 3 steps. Diamondus Minor gives you 1 gem. Don't ask how. The Southern Cross, rooms with 4 doors are more common today. Farmer's Apple, apples are extra delicious today. Clavis, the key, gives you a key. Diamondus Major gives you 5 gems. Draxus, the dead. You can probably see the resemblance to a skull even without them having drawn it out. Dead-end rooms are more common today. The Sale, everything is 50% off today. Florealis, bloom of the sky, green rooms are more likely to contain special flowers today. And that one is a grand total of 20 stars at once. So, at the moment, well, we actually need to set this up first, never mind. Let's do that first. And you will notice there is a little case there, which I will actually deal with now. This is something that perhaps you wouldn't usually find out until later. Ooh, maybe I want to do it the other way first. Does that? No, down 1 more. I think I should be able to... Wait, that cuts off my path. No, I'll leave it there for now. I'll bring things across... Okay, I'll leave it up first. Anyway, I only found about this a lot later into my first playthrough. But there is actually something in that. I will maybe bring it all the way around. That might be easiest. There is actually something in that lens case. That should be alright, I think. Yeah, that's fine. Ooh. I found a secret floor plan. Would you like to permanently add planetarium to your drafting pool? Yes, I would. Thank you. Now, I will want that to be as high as possible so I can actually look at the stars, please. Is that the right angle, or is there... Yeah, that's good. But yeah, the hint to that, if you haven't found it already, comes from a letter. There is a very kind member of staff who is not averse to giving you hints. And have a look, it's the North Star. I have gained a coin. For what good that might do me at this early stage. Let's just take the whole way. I don't need to spend any gems. And This is a red memo. Doors in the West Wing are more likely to be locked. Here's a spoiler, they aren't actually. And you can see when I have entered the chapel, I had a coin subtracted from me, so there's a bishop here. There are quite a few chess motifs lying around. And you can see there are a whole host of angels, and they are very domestic, I guess, might be the word. I don't know if domestic is quite the word that I'm looking for, but they're very grounded in the sense of, like, they have human tools, human implements, human clothing. The only things, honestly, that would tell you that they're angels just looking at them are the halos and the wings, right? Like, without that, you wouldn't be able to tell. You'd think they were just normal people. Oh, and this is what happens if you can't access one room from another. It just gets boarded up. Let's keep going. So the commissary is an example of one place where you might be able to use your coins, but I don't want to dead end myself like that, so, you know, let's not. This is the courtyard. It's pretty cute. It's chill. It's green. And oh, storeroom. Gotta love the storeroom. It's got stuff in, like coins and keys and gems. Oh, we have keys, so I might open this up. The trunk is no longer locked. We are rich with gems. I do not know where the gems go when I pay them. I don't know who takes them away, or if they just kind of like auto-magically disappear from my pockets. I feel like they must auto-magically disappear because, I mean, this is a house with shifting rooms. Like, of course there's something weird going on here, right? Look at this clock. It is massive. It is gorgeous. But only 3 visible gears. Like, what's up with that? Surely there have got to be more. Yeah, let's... So, this Dirigiblocks arcade game is apparently one of the things that's meant to be added in the 1.10 patch. I'm really curious as to what it's going to be like. And over here, a staff notice. Effective the first week of December, payroll for all live-out and seasonal staff will be managed electronically. As your attendance will no longer be registered at morning roll call, it is doubly important that you do not fail to clock in and out at one of the electronic computer terminals on the estate. 2 of these terminals can be found at security, where the punch clock used to be, and in the laboratory. Any questions or concerns regarding this process should be directed, as always, to our house manager, Mrs. Babbage. And then there is a terminal password that has been scribbled out hastily. Not enough if you have the magnifying glass. We have 2 things here, with and without. Coat and cot, right? So it's an A. Anyway, the relevance of that becomes clearer once you find, I think, the study. The commissary will be closed from day 12 to day 16. Sorry for any inconvenience. Here's a spoiler. It won't actually. This one, on the other hand, is, I believe, actually true. Annual Maid's Day sale, 2 days only. All items up to 50% off, all staff welcome, days 20 and 21 at the Mount Holy Commissary. For the record, I do not actually know how the money gets collected, if Simon is just kind of dropping the coins on the desk, and it's kind of being done auto magically like that because there are no staff here. They are all on a month's leave at the very least. Anyway, I'm not gonna buy any of these things. Let's keep going. You know what? Yeah, sure. Drawing room, let's go. Look at that. Look at all the art. It's gorgeous. This is Herbert S. Sinclair, our great uncle. Was there a... I don't think there was a zoom in, was there? I feel like there should have been. Aside from the magnifying glass. I don't think so. Of course, all of these are pencil drawings, so quite uncoloured, but that's fine. Okay. Since the office has showed up, I may as well show you one of the terminals. This is the office. There are... well, I mean, it's an office. There's heaps of stuff here. Books. Since we're along one of the wings, there is a view to outside. A tub and a tube on the paintings. Sorry, not in the frames. They are drawings. Some cute little curios and trinkets. Some photos of family. Bridget, please check if any books matching these titles are available for purchase in Reddington. Flight of the Queen, March of the Count, Fall of the Lord, Passing of the Barons, Herrings of the Major. Had a little trouble reading the Baron's writing, so I am not sure if the last title is intended to be hearings or herrings, but knowing Herbert, I suspect either would be suitable. Spin this dial, and you will see over here we have the first of many saints? The first of many safes. I don't remember the full combination, but once I do, I will enter it. We have a floor plan upgrade disc, which is insert into one of the estate terminals to permanently upgrade one of your floor plans. I believe that the archive cannot be permanently upgraded. The antechamber lever in the greenhouse is broken again. I don't think there is enough time to put in another work order before Simon arrives, so just make sure the west and east levers are operational. This will become important later. So, this is a terminal. I'm running the floor plan upgrade program fast, because I can. And courtyard data has been found on this upgrade disk. I will now have the chance to permanently enhance this room to one of 3 different upgraded floor plans. Select a floor plan below to upgrade this room. I did courtyard when I was doing my playthrough for fun, so I'll choose something different. But I do have to say, I really appreciate the pun. It's too good. So I could either go for 5 dig spots, which is really, really useful if I have a shovel, or I could get 2 gems. I might go for the gems. I don't believe that they will retroactively spawn in... yeah, they don't retroactively spawn. By the way, I may as well show you. The entrance hall. Past the steps and beyond the grand doors, admission to Mount Holly is granted by way of a dark and garish lobby suitably called the entrance hall. From here, each guest's adventure begins. However, the 3 doors that proceed onward do not always lead to the same adjoining rooms. And the antechamber. From its root, meaning the room before, all signs and paths point toward the antechamber. This mysterious sealed room, resting on the 9th rank, may prove, however, quite an initial challenge to even reach, let alone enter. Still, you can't help but draw a connection between this chamber and room 46, which is the mysterious room mentioned in H.S. Sinclair's will, named only by a number. Despite the house's official blueprint only showing a total of 45 rooms, the words of the legal document make it apparent that a 46th room in the house in fact exists. Finding this room is your primary objective while on the estate. It is, after all, your bequest. And you'll see that there are categories for bedrooms, hallways, green rooms, shops, and red rooms. And also, now that I have found one, found floor plans. So that's the house room directory. And now let me show you the terminal itself. They all have different functions. This is Mount Holly's home office. I can choose to run payroll, which will place checks in every staff member's room, none of which I have in the house at the moment. I could choose to spread gold in the estate, which is apparently withdrawn from the staff incentives program. These coins are spread throughout the estate. And I can choose to log into network. Now, the network login was the one that was scribbled over in that note in the shop. I already know it, so I cannot erase it from my memory. But normally you would need to look at that note or one of the other places where it's written with the magnifying glass, and that would show you. So, staff services. The only ones that are useful in this particular menu, staff announcements, Saturday, November 7th. I don't think anyone else has access to this network this month except you, Simon, so if you're reading this, just know we're all rooting for you. Your friends in faithful service. And the special orders is the other one. If you would like to get a specific brand of gum or your favourite fruit, the commissary is now taking special orders for all members of the staff, and this can take 1 to 3 days. I may as well ask for the sledgehammer. 1 to 2 days, apparently. I don't know if it's going to end up being useful, but we'll see. Electronic mail. So, this is one of the sets of records. This is technically an archive. Email inboxes. So, this is the I'll just call it the office terminal inbox. Office terminal email inbox. This one is home, family, personal, I think. Types of archival materials, emails. Okay, type of workspace. This is a home office, which I will describe later. The physical. I'll get around to the physical space. The security measures. There was a password, but little else. Do I adhere to the security measures? I mean, yes, I entered the password, which was there for me to find out in the first place. Yep. I followed the security measures. So, let's have a look at this email. One thing from Anne Babbage, dated last week, for this week. Sir, you have not left me any instructions for the following week, and you know how much I hate leaving critical plans up until the last minute. As soon as you decide on definite plans for the holidays, please pass a message on to me, either through Hartley, who is valeting for you this weekend, or, if you absolutely insist, through this confounded electronic typewriter. Anne Babbage. we're going to we're going to see Anne's name pop up quite a bit because she's basically the head chief of house staff. 2. DC Power about fuse box repair. This was as far back as October the 8th. Gabe, yes, that is the correct functionality. Also, when you are out here next week, please test that the correct sequence is off, blue, green, white, red, purple. Thanks for the due diligence on this project, H.S. Sinclair. Alright, this is the first thing I actually need to write down, so I will grab a journal or something. Give me a second. Alright. Now, I already know what this is for. I just will not remember the code by the time it comes round. So this is the code to the breaker box. Lights. There's a sequence of lights inside that you have to tinker with, and this is that sequence. So let's see. Off, blue, green, white, red, purple. Alright. Let's keep looking at emails. From Mech. Dear Herbert, we just wanted to let you know that the changes you requested to your will have been implemented and notarized. If your premonition, God forbid, should bear fruit, rest assured, that your plans will be executed down to the last detail. McGuire, McKinley, and McDougall. And another Fusebox repair email. The VAC indicator lights installed per instructions have been turned on. However, it should be noted that the white indicator is only displayed after syncing all 6 indicators to purple. If this is not the desired functionality, let us know and we will fix it in our regular service visit next week. So, that's something that we'll have to do. As you can see, that is all the mail. I will return to network menu. I don't think... Yeah, data transfers from Synca, not currently available. As I understand it, Synca might be something that the Sinclairs are running. Their company. I'm not 100% certain. And there is a glossary of terms, which I'm not going to look at because I already know the ins and outs of the game. I should probably write down March of the Count as well. Office safe is March of the Count. I'll have to double check that later. March is like the month, but gotta check the count. Okay, so let's see. This home office is... I am not sure I would consider it to be particularly bright. There's only one light on, really. Even though it faces the outside world, it's not particularly bright. So I'll call it dark. It seems clean and organized, which is nice. Security measures, yeah. Password on the terminal. Sometimes the doors are locked. This one really depends on how the house feels on any given day. Well, I suppose that means that... does the protagonist adhere to the security measures or rules? Sometimes. Because there are ways to bypass certain types of locks. Yeah, sometimes. Adhering to security measures is pretty much always going to be a big sometimes. Alright, let's keep going. This is the only door I have available to... Oh, yep. So here you can see, the door is locked, I need to use a key. And this becomes more and more common the further along you get. Let's have a look at the spare room. As you can see, it's quite spare. Hey look, it's the utility closet. This is a dead end, yes, but... You see this bit with the vac indicators? That is what I got the hint for just then. So, let me... Yeah, okay, so let me grab my notes. So, the colors need to be in sequence of blue, green, white, red, purple, from left to right. In order to get to white, we have to have everything as purple first, so that shall be our first aim. You'll notice I can toggle from green to red and then off. There was some other way that you cycle through colors, as I recall. I do not remember what that way is. There we go. All the things had to be green before blue became available. Or... how... Oh, right, blue was like that. How did we get to purple from blue? There we go. Oh man, that's gonna be annoying. I have regrets. No, wait, here we go. Oh, no, that was bad. Okay, this is going to take me a few minutes to figure out. I've never quite gotten the hang of this particular kind of puzzle, I have to admit. So if I need the whole thing to be purple, that means that I have to... How does that... The final blue that I click on has to not turn off? I don't know that that's plausible. It might have to be the middle ones that get turned on last, I think. Maybe. I am... Truthfully, I'm not 100% sure on how you would get all of them blue either, because, like, The whole thing of it is like, it is shuffling around, right? Oops. So, like, I've gotten to this bit, but then how do I make that last one purple? This is one of those things where it's like, I am pain. Oh dear. I'm gonna struggle with this one for a little bit, but I actually have to because this unlocks more stuff. And I don't want to have done all this for nothing, you know? Uh... Let me, no. This is the kind of thing where it's like, normally I would look this up, but given that I'm being recorded right now, I have to have some kind of pride, right? Oh no, wait, there we go. Okay, it was kind to me. It was actually kind and didn't... Okay, that's fine then. So, white is this one. Oops. That needs to be purple. This one needs to be red. Let's see. The other colors need to be off blue and green. Oh, I messed that one up. Oh good, I can turn that one off. There we go. Okay. I no longer need to remember this. Right, let's pull the switch. So this is the door from outside. You'll notice that a place has opened up. The Gemstone Cavern has been permanently unlocked and added to your campsite. Starting tomorrow, you will start each new day with 2 gems. Which is very nice. Let's go over there and have a look. We're going to go all the way back from far out in the house. That one way was a dead end. Let's pay our tithe to the chapel, I guess. And toss a coin into the fountain. Make a wish. I wish that I will be able to retrieve that coin once I drain the fountain of water. This is not a joke. I actually will at some point probably end up draining that fountain of water, and then I will retrieve that coin, along with any others that I toss in there. So, by the way, that little tent, that's my tent. That's where I stay overnight. But this gemstone cavern, it is what it looks like. It is a cavern for gemstones. I'm gonna turn this switch. This will unlock something later if I turn 3 more switches like it. They are in specific places, both around the grounds and in certain rooms. Yeah, this is where we get the gems from, apparently. And of course, a letter. Here is the last of the equipment for the new mine. I don't think we're going to need more than this, especially if we're going to limit excavation to 2 stones per day. I was told by the engineer that getting greedier than that might risk the structural integrity of the cave walls, so I suppose we'll have to adhere to his expert opinion, at least for now. We managed to remove all but one minecart from the old tunnels, 2 of which were too rusted and worn down to be of any use to us up here, so Dave went ahead and made the call to scrap them. I'm not sure that the foreman is going to be too happy about that, but hopefully you can smooth it over. Now, there is still one more cart down there, but it's locked on a short track and it's way too difficult to move from the reservoir side. It's a little bit awkward because it's blocking the passage, so I suggest someone move it from the other side if they can get over there. The boss informed us that there are 2 other ways into the site from that side, but I think we're gonna leave that for someone else to finish it up, if the old man really wants it done. So, there's a heap of stuff underground. It is basically a maze under there. Not actually like a maze, but like it's pretty bad. Anyway, that is a particular obstacle that we'll have to keep an eye out on. This is the campsite. Due to the rules set forth in your great uncle's will, you are not allowed to stay in this state overnight. Luckily, however, your scouting skills have been put to good use to fabricate a very respectable off-site sleeping quarters. You may call it a day at any time from the blueprint menu to return to the campsite for the night. I'll do that now. Look at this cute little campfire and pot though. It's so cute. Are you sure you want to call it a day? Tomorrow you will awake to find the rooms of the estate, as well as your current inventory, have been reset. I'm calling it. Okay. Mount Holy was a charming cottage today. 19 total rooms. We reached rank 7, so that's this line of rooms here. This is rank 8, this is rank 9, and so on. Steps taken 47, items found 2. Save and continue. This is very much the kind of game that's like, one more run, one more run, one more run. It is now day 2. Oh, I should probably write down we started on November 7th. Okay, let's... This letter will stay here until we reach room 46, at which point it will change. So I have no reason to visit the outside for now, but... Hey, okay, this is nice. This is the next thing that I wanted to do. Actually, no, I will. May as well. It's gonna be like that anyway. So, the gymnasium and the dark room are both red rooms. Red rooms are... I guess you could call them... I guess you could say they have a lot to do with risk and reward. Basically, there is some kind of negative penalty attached to those rooms usually. But... Oh, another security keycard. I didn't need to turn off the security system at all. I may as well just keep it there. Keep it on. Anyway, yes, most of those red rooms, with the exception of the lavatory, so far as I have found, they have a penalty of sorts attached to them. So we saw earlier that the chapel takes away one of your coins every time you go through. And there is sometimes a reward. A shovel. the shovel is not usually the reward. But yeah, usually there will be some kind of reward, but you may have to do some metaphorical rather than literal digging to find it. Speaking of which, here's the chapel again. Hey, refund. Okay, I am going along the west wing. Let's pull the den. It's cozy, isn't it? Right? Like, look at this fire. You wouldn't... This is not the kind of thing that I can dream of having in real life, you know? The greenhouse. You know, let's not. I'll show you the greenhouse later. For now, let's see if we can... Oh, locksmith. Storeroom. This is acceptable. Don't ask how the dirt pile got in here. Don't ask how we found a turnip in that dirt pile. Don't ask. Don't ask. There's... logic? No. The house has its own rules. I am searching very, very hard for the garage. I don't know if it'll show. I really don't know. Will we be lucky? Please let me be lucky. Well, here's the dark room. As you can see, the lights are out. That's because I have turned the lights off ahead of time. If I hadn't, it would have looked lit up in the, you know, standard kind of red light way that dark rooms have. And then the lights would just have immediately cut out. So that's why I decided to turn the lights off in advance. Don't give myself that false hope this time. Because guaranteed, 100% the lights will go out the first time you enter, if you have not already turned them off. So, as you can see, the lights are now on. Which means I have cancelled out the negative effect of this room. Paint notes. HS has requested yet another print of her ladyship, I assume for one of her rooms in the West Wing, as well as an enlarged print of the enclosed photograph. He said the last development was too dark, so keep an eye on that. I need the magnifying glass for that. This will unlock this lock here to the orchard. And yeah, I have a lobbyist lockpick kit now. I will occasionally be able to unlock some normal doors. But yeah, the dark room. It's got some atmosphere to it. And would you look at that? Sinkaco branded camera, and he's just casually taking a selfie in the lavatory. I don't know if there's actually a hint there, but, you know, maybe? I am gonna try. No, that's a pity. Veranda. I guess it has to be that if I want to find the garage, because the garage only appears along this west wing. Okay. So I have done all that for very little reward. But this is fine. Oh, here it is. Here it is. The archives. I did not think we would get to it on day 2. So, you will notice it is in fact called the archives, plural. So, hats off to the people who made this game for that, I think. Archives. It is specifically almost a century of records and files pertaining to the Sinclair family's numerous interests, which implies to me that it is not just a home family personal library, but there may also be some level of corporate or institutional interest in there. I'm going to put those ones down as question marks. Types of archival materials, records and files. We'll see more shortly when we actually look at it, but type of workspace, it is basically a file room / all-in-one room. The physical space, it's already otherwise immense, but also small and cramped, so I might just write that down as is. Countless shelves, immense space, feels small and cramped. Lots of sealed and unable to be accessed files, so effectively closed stacks, closed files, varying whether or not you need to enter with a key or key card or not. Now let's have an actual look. You can see it does have lighting, but it's pretty dark, honestly. And, you know, there is some organization going on here, obviously. I mean, these all look fairly neatly set out. There are these filing cabinets. We have ladders. And so on. There are a couple of things that are out of place, but mostly it feels pretty organized, right? We are not actually able, as far as I am aware, to interact with most of these things beyond just, they are here. They are here. But what we can interact with is the reading desk. Now, here's an interesting thing. Apparently some of the dates, I believe, within this flipbook were actually, there were typos fixed in a patch post-launch to make sure that the dates were actually correct. So the archives got edited on a kind of meta level, and I just think that's really interesting. In this case, I kind of lockpicked my way in, I think, so I don't know if that counts as adhering to security measures. Anyway, records and files, plus this is the one interactable archival material within the archives, so far as I have seen. Flipbook of newspaper cuttings about a specific subject. That subject is an author. August 22, 85. Marigold wins Herald Literary Honor. Popular children's writer Marion Marigold adds yet another feather to her scholastic cap when she discovered on Thursday that her picture book Swimbird had been chosen as the Herald Literary Medal Illustrated Book of the Year. This is Marigold's second time winning this prestigious honor. The previous medal was, of course, for her debut effort. She was no stranger to the public eye even before her literary success. The niece and closest living relation of Baron H.S. Sinclair, Mary began using Marigold as a pen name to free her from the political associations that one might make with the Sinclair family. This will be important later. January 27, 86. Swimbird author never considered herself success, by Gail Hermes, Herald staff writer. She confided, "My son was the one that actually got me to start writing. I had always challenged myself to never tell him the same story twice at bedtime, and so as we ran out of books we owned, my imagination had to take over from there." Marigold has elaborated in previous interviews that her debut book, Red Prince, is based on her son and his inflexible love of the color red, a statement that has been held with much skepticism by the many pundits that viewed that book as a rather thinly veiled political critique of the Royalist Party and their unwavering blind loyalty to the throne. November 11, 86. Publisher and author detained by Red Guard questioned. Caleb Manning and his publisher Philip White were 2 of 3 dozen names that appeared on a leaked dossier naming them a person of interest in the Trinsdale bombing that killed 4 people last Tuesday. Although no group has come forth to officially take responsibility of the attack, it is widely believed by authorities to be the work of the insurgent group RLCF, who also call themselves the Children of Blackwater. Continued on page 12. Ruffington Press was quick to dismiss the rumours in a statement released on Friday, maintaining that the popular author and Mr. White were simply victims of an unfortunate happenstance, whatever that means. This would not be the first time that the publishing house has defended a rogue employee. 3 years ago, an associate editor with the company was arrested for criminal conspiracy, though the charges were later dropped. November 17 in the Reddington Herald, Marigold drops publisher. Local author and popular personality Marion Marigold has announced a split with her long-term publishing partner Ruffington Press, citing personal reasons. The announcement came after the arrest last week of fellow author and colleague Caleb Manning, who Marigold has past referred to as her mentor, friend, and confidant. Marigold is the 3rd prominent writer to distance themselves from the publisher this week. An image of Manning and White at press function was seen at the corner, suspicious bag under the waved down a local This is the 3rd major last year. It is charged by the Crown. Manning was the last. The trial begins on expected to last up to, with grand treason. February 22, 87. No trace is discovered of sinker heiress, but search continues. Mary Matthew Jones, the author and illustrator whose fanciful stories are written under the pen name Marion Marigold, was last seen by a close friend around 3:45 p.m. Friday, getting into a carriage after a late luncheon date at the 100 Bells Tea Room in Trinsdale. Mrs. Jones never arrived home, and the carriage driver cannot be located. Family and local authorities are very concerned but have not deemed the case foul play. It's an out-of-character incident at this point, and we are seeking information. September 2nd, Reddington Herald. Priceless jewels stolen in dramatic Royal Museum heist. Thieves in the royal capital of Fen Aries have broken into one of the Crown's fabled closed exhibits. These lavish rooms have historically been reserved exclusively for the use of the aristocracy and high peerage, and access has never been granted to those outside noble circles. At least, not until today, as local police and forensic experts have been spotted in virtually every corner of the museum grounds dredging for clues. The museum authorities said they were alerted in the middle of night by reports of several masked intruders seen breaching the south wall and brandishing firearms. The intruders broke into the museum, subdued the royal guard, and disabled the security system. By the time the militia arrived on the scene, the burglars had simply vanished. Although an official registry of the lost jewels has not been publicly announced, among the treasured artifacts rumored to be stolen is the renowned ruby crown of Orinda Ares, the priceless crown jewel whose material worth pales in comparison to the historic value. If these rumors are true, the evidence may suggest that the theft was politically motivated. And that is the last page. So, you might be wondering, how is this all relevant? What is the through line here? Given that I'm, playing this for research, I may as well spoil you now. Marion Marigold is the player character, Simon's mother. She went missing, and the reason that she went missing was to plan this very dramatic Royal Museum heist that we are looking at right now. She stole the ruby crown of Orinda Ares and brought it back. Herbert, granduncle, was hiding her and her co-conspirators. And there are jewels from the ruby crown scattered around the house, hidden, locked away in safes, like the one in the office. And one of the things that we can find once we reach room 46 is the refurbished crown. It is no longer, it will no longer be ruby. It will be set with sapphires. So, I mean, I've spoiled it for you, Nell. That is what has happened. That is the lore, or at least part of it, the background of this game. But of course, just flipping through this at first, you probably wouldn't. You wouldn't know this. You would just see, like, there are all these things. Some of them seem unrelated. Like, why is this here? It's because that's why she was missing. She went into hiding to plan that heist. Okay, so I can pull out the code book for this now. Let me just... I clipped it together last night, so... Okay, let's see. We have archives holding key information that is needed to solve a larger mystery. Although it is a bit more scattered in this case in some ways than in other games. We have, let's see. I don't know if needing to break into archives is quite a need here, because even though I did it on this, in this case, you can encounter the archives without needing to break into them. So I don't know if I want to tick that one off. There's not much I can tick off right now. I might come back to that later. Now, the other thing that is important about the archives, beyond this particular scrapbook here, and the thing that I mentioned earlier about there being a clue in the aquarium here, about here. So, the archives are a red room. That means that there is a corresponding downside to them. The benefit of the archives is there are 4 exits. That is huge. Most rooms in this game have 2 or 3 at most. The archives, full 4. So The downside of the archives is that while drafting, you will no longer be able to see all 3 of your potential floor plans. This is not a good thing, because it makes plotting your path a little bit harder. Now, let me show you exactly what that looks like in practice. I do have the security card, so I can just open this. You can see that this floor plan is now archived. It is labeled as confidential. I cannot see what it is. Of course, I can still use it. I just have no way of knowing what it is, whether or not it'll actually be useful to me before I draft it. So there is an element of missing information here. This is, by the way, the guest bedroom. Sinclair, just wanted to write you a quick note thanking you for the weekend. I had a thrilling time on the hunt with Lord Evanson, whose peculiar personality somewhat made up for your own absence. I also got to appreciate your new game in the billiard room. It's been ages since I've seen the billiard room in the house. I was beginning to suspect you retired the floor plan. It was well worth the wait, though, as I always enjoy your mathematical puzzles and appreciated that I didn't need to know the rules of darts to play your variation. Hoping your health improves shortly, KL. By the way, you will notice, as we go through this game, color has political meaning. Very, very specifically, color has political meaning. It's not the garage. Whatever. I'll take the mailroom. And red is associated with the rulers of Fenaries, the royalist party. Make of that what you will, with the archives being a red room. So the utility room fuse box. Yeah, okay, I dealt with that already. In red, please return all correspondence and packages addressed to Denny Ravane to sender, as he no longer is employed with our staff. Little bit of thing here that you can have a look at using the magnifying glass. Excuse me. I believe Danny was fired because he was trying to find the 46th room without authorization through some kind of sneaky way. Simon P. Jones, Mount Holly Estate, Fen Aries, 63080. From Dad at 1809 Alice Drive, Fen Aries, 63022. Hey buddy, how's it going up there in that big house? I think most people would be pretty scared being alone for this length of time, but I have a feeling you're doing just fine. I imagine you happy as a clam, perfectly content on the estate with the exploration and opportunities for adventure that present themselves each day. As I'm writing this, you're currently in the garage packing the tent. I wanted to try to post this letter before we depart tomorrow so that it has a chance to arrive during your first few days on the estate, but with all the preparations, I'm not sure that I'm going to find the time. There's so much I want to say, and I'm sure I'll forget to tell you Friday night. Sometimes it's easier for me to just jot this stuff down. You're yelling at me right now to come bring you a pillowcase. Hold on a second, I'll be right back. That's so cute. I can tell you're really excited, but I think you might feel a little guilty about being so happy the day after the funeral. Believe me, I know how long Uncle Herbert worked on setting this up for you, and I know from our conversations just how much happiness this final project brought him. So do both of us a favor. Be excited. The house really is amazing. I know it's been almost 7 years since we were last up there, and I'm really curious to hear just how much you remember from those summer trips. You've always been smarter than me at this kind of thing, so I'm not sure how much guidance or inspiration I can offer before your trip that will actually be useful to you. Despite my best intentions, I'm sure that on Friday I'll end up leaving you with a few of my overused cliche expressions when we say farewell. Later, alligator, Dad. P.S. Get some sleep each night and don't spend all your time each day playing Diringer blocks. It's not like I can, Dad. It's the arcade machine is currently broken. We're waiting for it to be fixed in 1.10. Oh dear. Okay, let's keep going. He sounds like a pretty swell guy. Excuse me. Back into the archives. Oh, you will also notice these pipes, these pipes and vents on the archive. Yeah, so the archive is actually connected to power. If you put it next to a room with a power source, or chain it together with any room that has power running through it, it will direct that power to the other to the future rooms that you place around it in any direction. So that's another aspect, I think, of why it is balanced as a red room. Oh look, it's security. Let's go. Yep. We can, in fact, see ourselves in the security room. Right there. This place is really something. By the way, it includes a hint. I encountered this very, very early on in my first run of my for fun playthrough. Blue memos equals true, red memos equals lies. And there is that little bit down there. I don't think this used to be here. I don't remember seeing it my very first time, but it says unless written by hand. It is actually big enough to read without the magnifying glass, honestly. And you can see there's various things. Here is the same staff notice about payroll with the terminal password. The antechamber is most definitely not unlocked. And here is a blue memo. Blue memos are guaranteed to be true. Keycard access security doors are more likely to appear in the higher ranks of the estate. Likewise, as a redundant security measure, normal doors in the estate will also be more likely to be locked as you progress north. North, as you will recall, is the way towards the antechamber and therefore also room 46. Let's pop open our terminal. Mount Holly Security. You can have a look at what is currently in the house. You can turn on and off the keycard system. You can also set the security level. I actually want high to get rid of as many regular key-locked doors as I can. Return to the security menu and log into network. Because each of these terminals actually has a different set of emails. So, let me grab my office terminal email inbox sheet. I'm going to copy a little bit off it. I'm going to call this one the security terminal inbox sheet. Email inbox, rather. Similarly, it is a home, family, personal thing. Probably. Oh, excuse me. I don't have permission yet. I'll come back to this later. But there is a way to unlock the email permissions for this. Alright, let's keep going. Let's see what else we can find before we have to call it a day. Let's open up a hallway. Ah yes, the fake note about the West Wing doors. You know what? Here's the planetarium. It's honestly really pretty. I'm so sad that there is no way to just like sit. But then you can just, stare up at the sky anyway, so it's probably fine. I will come back here in another couple of steps and end my day there. Oh, it's the parlor. Okay. So yes, the parlor is one of the rooms that is upgradable. I upgraded it in my previous... You are in the parlor. You don't say. Okay, it has to be this one then. I upgraded it to the funeral parlor, which turns it into a red room. So, lots of give and take in terms of, risk and reward. This is the boudoir. It's quite pretty. And you will notice a Christmas safe. Look at that. It's gift wrapped and everything. But this is one of those safes. This is a Sync-A-Co safe. This is one of the safes that carries lore and also a very specific gem in it. And do you know what the date of Christmas is? Yes, it's the 25th of December. Of course, I wouldn't be able to open this on day 2 if I didn't have, prior knowledge that it is, in fact, dates that open these safes. This is a gem from the crown of Orinda Aries. And here is red letter number 4. Herbert, I was distraught to learn that you have chosen to omit the details of our dear Marion's disappearance from the public record. It is no surprise to me that the royal court would want this embarrassment kept as quiet as possible, but I am shocked that you have so little regard for your niece that you would play the king's scullion and stoop to kissing the foot that treads upon her memory. She gave up her family, her fortune, and her life, and all you can do is think of your name. Having never had a family name nor fortune of my own, I cannot personally condemn you for faltering in your commitment to make the same sacrifice as she did. But for the love of God, do not, by that same display of weakness, clutch your petty assets so tightly that you undermine the cause that she forfeited everything to further. Our countrymen must be made aware of the price she paid and must be made to see the colour of the flag she flew as she rode into the darkness of 100 nights. To deny her story is to deny her life. If, through your silence, you bless this betrayal, our son, Simon, your heir, will inherit a fortune of lies and will spit upon your grave when he learns of your cursed foolishness. Needless to say, we will not be coming for Christmas this year. Daniel. So, Daniel was not privy to the truth of what happened, which was that Herbert was sheltering Marion. For most of the time that she was vanished. More recently, he actually helped her find a new safe place. So, he didn't know any of that. He probably still doesn't even. Let's pull out the dining room, show you something nice. Here is food. Here is food. Let's from this side. Look, it's a porterhouse steak for dinner. A delightfully expensive steak cut. Bone-in and extra marbled for maximum tenderness, a perfect dish for those who love extravagance. It gives you 20 steps, plus an additional 10 if you have a showroom in your house. I do not have a showroom in my house, and I will not probably have a showroom in my house for quite some time. So I'm happy to have it now. Fine. Oh, it's the shop. Oh, the sledgehammer. Where am I actually? Okay, so there is one... I can go back and see if there's a little more before I decide whether or not to buy that. Power source. Yeah, sure, okay. Let's solve the puzzles here. I say puzzles, that's not quite the right word. But, it's a little bit puzzly. I don't think I needed any equipment, I just need to spin the dials. And direct the steam to where it needs to go. that side is not quite it yet. Here? I did hear something. Just... yeah, okay, it's the bridge. That's not quite what I'm after. Here we go. I guess I should stop the power at an appropriate time. Ugh. Can I, yes, I can spin it from here. Okay, I don't know if that was enough. I legitimately cannot see. I think it might be. I think it is. Let's direct it that way. Yeah, okay, cool. It is a lift, which I can use to get up to here. And spin this one. And I should be able to open this at the same time. And I think this should stay open afterwards. Okay. That power, let me put it this way. No. Let me put that this way first. And then open that door. Which one did I need it to power? For that. This one. That should do it. Wait, no, let me... Here? This, I think... Up. No, I think I do actually need to... Is it going to close if I... No, it didn't close. I think they fixed that. I think they changed that behavior in a more recent patch. So I should be able to just do this and be able to cross over and not have to worry about the door being closed now. Oh, I think we can activate the boiler room now. This is power. We have power. Well, okay. Maybe one side needs to be powered to let it open. Oh. I don't know what I would like to... Let's go with mystery. Oh, it was this one, the passageway. Ugh. Okay, so as you can see, this is a closed door to the antechamber. I need to pull... I think it's the greenhouse lever that I need to pull for that particular entrance. Wow, all of these doors, I cannot pick their locks. Laboratory! Amazing. I typically work over at Sinker Labs, but got sent over here for a month to assist more with the new turbine tests. I think I need some help. For the past 3 days, I have been unable to find the laboratory on the estate. Today was the first success on that front. Can anyone tell me if this is typical? And if so, how do you get any work done? Before I arrived, I was briefed on the way the doors work, but I must admit I did not expect to be excluded from my new workstation for the first week. Any tips from my fellow technicians would be appreciated. Kimberly Thompson. I feel so bad for her. This is heating and cooling curves for the freezer. There is, in fact, a freezer room, which we can thaw if we would like. Here is a periodic table of elements code. I don't remember what... This machine requires additional power piped in from the boiler room. I should do that. I should do that, then. I want it to the right. And so, actually it's a good thing that I got the hallway, because it does pipe in power. Okay, here we go. I think it was 9 then 3? Hey, I actually remembered that somehow. Voila, we have power. To a mysterious door that leads us into a cavern. The Black Bridge Grotto has been powered and permanently unlocked. Each day, you may access one offline terminal from the network. Permanent changes do not reset each day. That's a lie. Okay. So that was actually the content of the periodic table code. Here is the laboratory terminal, where we can do experiments to create an original and unique house feature that will last until the end of the day. Oh! Okay, I did not actually realize that drafting archived floor plans was a mechanic that could be included in the experimental house features. I need to make a note of this. That actually changes a few things, doesn't it? Oh. Well, given that I seem to have been having trouble with a lack of keys, and there's honestly not much point logging into the network, I need to turn on email privileges. But, you know, I will put this down as an archive that exists. It is the laboratory terminal email inbox. Okay. Oh, okay, so this shows us that power, this room has, oh, it was the weight room. There is a secret here. I have not yet actually been able to open it because it requires stuff, a certain item, and I never have the item when I draw the weight room. It's frustrating. I don't have any currency to launder. fine. I'll grab the furnace. It's... Oh! A special... No, just a regular key. Okay, I actually had no idea that that was an interaction that was possible. A powered furnace gives you a thing. That is good to know. Okay, how many steps does it take me to get back to the planetarium? 1, 2, 3, 4. That's not too bad. I can open a few more doors at least. I said I could open a few more doors at least, but I'm not going in there. I don't have enough steps to... The gym, it loses you steps. So, I would rather not. Through the hallway, and then... into the starry place. Let's call it here. And you can see that my star count in the corner quietly increased, which is nice. It was a west-facing manor. It was very west-facing. The only thing on the east wing was the furnace. Okay, let's keep going. We got a lot of good things there. Not what I originally had expected to get, which is one of the nice things about a roguelike like this. With, you know, random generation of rooms, or random placement of rooms rather. It is the kind of thing that frustrates some people. Like, they go in expecting and really, really hoping for one thing, and then they don't get it, and then they're sad. But, like, I'm usually pretty okay with that. For the record, I still have not been able to figure out what this sticky note is for. The 1/100 thing? No clue what it's for. Okay. The admin key... Usually you would have to find, I think, the servants' quarters, or a similar room, to find the pattern, and then you would need to try, try passwords with that pattern, but, this one works. More R or Tom K will do me. Okay. This is, for the record, another archive. So this is the Blackbridge network admin terminal. This one is, I mean, it is home, family, personal, but it's also very much an institutional / corporate one, because it's to do with the Sinker Corporation as well, I think. Archival materials, emails, access logs, etc. Not emails, just I think the access logs, data files, etc. Type of workspace. This is in a grotto. I'll turn around and have a look at the physical space again later, but it is literally a grotto. with a door that was closed through a sequence of puzzles. I don't know what to call that as a security measure. Puzzle locked door, I guess. Which, I did adhere to the security measures, but also I've been doing hacking, so, this game is really kind of making me put nonsense onto my worksheet. The worksheet was not built for this. I do not think that the researchers who put together the original forms of these worksheets were expecting them to be used for video games. So, yeah. Hacked into terminal. But I unlocked the door legitimately, okay? Network settings, email settings. I want to turn every single one of these on. You'll notice that there is also a shelter mailbox. Inbound and outbound connections and email communications outside of the local network have been temporarily disabled. There is a way to enable it. I have not yet found it on my fun file. I would like to do it in this playthrough. Not like this one right now, but like while collecting data, because I suspect that there will be more things to look at once that is done. There are 3 additional delisted admin keys. I don't know what they are yet. Data files. You can import trophy data, but I'm not going to. Admin logs. These are important. Moore is the head of the lab. He is the person who sends you the most mail. And he is the person, in fact, who sent the mail that told me about the thing, the floor plan, the secret floor plan in the observatory's telescope lens case. So, you know, he knows some stuff. He's pretty high up in, I was going to say seniority, but that may or may not be correct. He has rights around, you know, administration and so on and so forth. He is trusted. So, on the 20th of January, 1986, he says, the last cables have finally been laid and the office terminal has been connected to the central network. Given the ever-changing nature of the rooms on the estate, we chose to install the server outside of the house to maintain connection stability at all times. A small cavern off of the eastern drive was selected for the server site. So I should probably call this Grotto plus Server Room. Next. 26th of January. All remaining computer terminals on the estate are now connected to the network mainframe, and we will now begin testing remote access capabilities between them. I've also asked the Baron to come up with a name for the network. The Baron is Grand Uncle Herbert S. Sinclair. He is a titled person. The 30th of that same January, after some deliberation, our network has been named Black Bridge, a somewhat ominous name for the project given the legend from which the term derives, though very fitting considering we chose an actual cave to house the mainframe. I only hope that our servers do not suffer that same fate that befell those in the story. Once we get further along and we find the library and then we find the bookshop, we can actually purchase the Black Bridge story to read. in the library. It's tragic. Sorry, that was a time skip. So that's the 30th of January. This is the 1st of July in that same year. Regular maintenance report fixed a connection error that was occurring between the office and security terminal. We have also added electronic mail capabilities to each terminal that can be accessed via the network. I mean, their tech levels, obviously not the same as ours on Earth, as you may have guessed at this point, given the names of countries that seem to be popping up and various bits and pieces around the place. This is not Earth. This is not our world. It is just one that looks a bit like ours. So they already have email in 1986, apparently. 10th of February 1987, more recording capabilities of all cameras on the estate have been disabled. Additionally, the existing video playback functionality on the security terminal has also been removed. I wonder why. It's because Marion and co were on the grounds at this point. They were being held. They were being sheltered in the shelter itself at this point. Deleted logs on the 2nd of March and 3rd of March, 4th of March, 6th of March, 7th of March, and 9th of March, 14th of March, and then more deleted logs on the 10th, 11th, and 12th of July. On the 25th of July, 1987, as requested yesterday, new admin key created, though the requested name doesn't quite fit with our typical length formatting. I still have not been able to figure this one out. I'm going to make a note of it. Name not usual length. More deleted logs on the 27th and 28th of August. And here, the 1st of September 1987, effective immediately, all electronic mail capabilities have been restricted and now can only be accessed via the office terminal. All other terminal inboxes have been archived and can only be restored via admin control. I just did that earlier, of course. 20th of January 1989. Temporary access to the mainframe and Blackbridge Grotto has been restored to perform routine maintenance. The same on the 4th of January 1990. And then, on the 3rd of July 91, updated access privileges for the following account types. Admin access, full access to all features. Personnel access, access to user database. Archive access, full access plus access to archived admin logs and deleted database entries. I want that. Those are the unlisted admin keys, I believe. But again, I haven't been able to figure it out yet. 25 November 1992, RTA is down while we work on a solution to reported terminal connection failures. 28/11/92, RTA is working again, terminal connections tested and confirmed functional. To make future testing easier, added ability to access offline terminals through the RTA when Blackbridge is open. 29 January 1993. Per request, one temporary admin key has been added to the network. That same admin key was deactivated almost a month later on the 20th of February. On the 22nd of June 93, one new admin key has been added to the network. Tom K. That is, was it Kathleen? I don't remember. But Thompson, the person who had that, who wrote that note, oh, excuse me, who wrote that note that we saw in the laboratory just earlier. Welcome to the team. The 1st of August 1993, from her, added new data management features to Blackbridge admin control, updated user database. 6th of November 1993, back to, I think his name is, well, his last name is Moore with an E on the end though. I think Randall or something similar? Changing of the guard. In preparation for Simon's arrival, inbound and outbound messages as well as off-site connections from outside the estate have been disabled, per the instructions left by the Baron himself. So that's the end of the admin logs. Let's exit. Let me, I wanna see if I can hack it. Admin not found. Admin also not found. It says it doesn't conform to the usual length restrictions, but... Well, it's not Marion at any rate. Wait, sorry, can I remote access a terminal using Blackbridge itself? I don't remember. I don't think I can. Yeah, no way. So, how would I describe this physical workspace? It's, dark. It's underground. Well, kind of. It's a cavern. It is a literal cave. It's a server room. It is actually fairly organized. I'll give it that. And it's got this door which I have not yet been able to open in my other file either. There are microchips that honestly don't look very micro. I'm gonna leave it in there though. And if we go to the code book, there might be... I guess this counts as needing to break into archives to get important information. I would like to... I think this counts as breaking in some ways. Even though it is, like, explicitly the intent that I should figure out all of these mysteries. That is explicitly... That is explicitly Herbert's intent. But it is still kind of, you know, transgressive in a way. This is a weird combination of being both, like, highly advanced technology and equipment and also, like, out-fashioned and outdated tools and technology. Because this is a different world, it is functioning on a different timeline to us. Like, this is... They had email in the 1800s. That means they had computers in the 1800s. We didn't. We sure didn't. But, the look of it is... The look of it is outdated. But, like, if we talk about it in terms of, like, what is it actually doing? When is it in the timeline? It's really advanced compared to what we had. Maybe. So, let's continue. This is a fresh day. We've barely done anything. Look at that view. Isn't it gorgeous? If I didn't have a constantly shifting house to explore, I could stare at that for ages and just watch the clouds and fog drift by. But, you know, there is a house to explore, there is a game to play. I would like to open the garage as soon as possible, you know? But it might take a while. I'm gonna do my best to not be impatient. So this is a pine tree, and this is a pin. There is the letter E here. This is a face. This is an ace. There is an F here. I'm not gonna spoil the rest for you, probably. If you want to figure it out, you can go ahead and have fun. You can have fun. I won't spoil these ones for you. Oh, my package has been delivered. Well, I don't say if I do. I don't mind if I do. Apparently, I ordered an amateur lockpick kit and gems. How much did it cost me? Absolutely nothing. Well, I only have this way to go now, don't I? Yeah, okay. Courtyard. Oh boy, I love me a functioning metal detector that lets me find more coins and keys. Passageway. As you can see, it costs 2 gems. We've got 4 stars, so we get Diamondus Minor, an extra gem. I basically just got a refund. Amazing. Chestnut. Drawing room, please. That's really the only... Oh yeah, I didn't show you this earlier. Drawing floor plans. Each time you click on a door, you will draw 3 floor plans from which you must select one to draft. However, there are some items and rooms that will allow you to redraw if you do not like your original 3 options. I don't actually know who wrote these little notes in the lore by canon, but you know, they're helpful. Go to the chapel and it's scamming me of all my money. Oh dear. I do want the coat check, but I don't want it now. I want it later, please. West Wing Hall will do me. Let's, see if we can find some good stuff. I don't know if this is a bad choice, but it does let me show you something. So this is the nursery. Little Simon used to do stuff here, and as you can see, the metal detector is going. Here it is. This is The Red Prince by Marion Marigold. There was a red prince who sat on a red throne. He had a red crown made of rubies and a red castle made of stone. The prince had a love for all things red. It's the only true colour, the prince often said. He could not stand the sight of a canary or a crow. He could not stand the white of a swan in the snow. And he never looked up for fear of the view. He had heard that the sky was not a red hue, so he always had a book to turn his eyes down if he was ever outside when the clouds weren't around. And do you know which book the prince always had? The one that made him happy whenever he was sad? A story he had read in the bath and the bed, and maybe you can guess with the clues that we have said. It was the story of a boy who also wore red, and he looked like our prince, from his toes to his head. And as you, my reader, might already assume, this book is quite near you. In fact, in the same room. A story about you, if it needs to be said. About a red prince and his book. The red book we just read. So that's The Red Prince. It is self-referential. We saw that same self-referentiality of sorts in that security room cinematic. You only get that the first time you see it. The first time you enter that room, so we won't see that again. But, you know, things to think about, right? Recursivity. I really want the utility closet, but I also don't want to block off my way. Okay, give me security. Give me the security email inbox. Maybe after tweaking the keycard system, because I haven't actually found a keycard. Hi, but also offline mode unlocked. Actually, no, sorry, I want that to be low. Because there is no guarantee that I will find the breaker room again, honestly. Gotta prepare for all those eventualities, right? So, that nostalgic screechy modem noise. Electronic mail. From most recent to least recent, perhaps. Kirk, per our last meeting, effective immediately, please suspend all security camera recordings. Live surveillance has been approved, but the Baron no longer wishes to have tape logs of activity on the estate. I know this might seem like a security risk, but I promise, good reasoning is behind this seemingly unsound decision. Randolph Moore. From Anne, Mr. Darren, sorry for the lagging reply. I am still learning how to use this machine. Bless Anne. Thanks for bringing this issue to our attention. This was not something I had considered, but it does seem like a reasonable suggestion, and I will discuss it with the Baron during our next meeting. I know he has expressed interest in installing secondary access levers for both redundancy and convenience, so this may be the perfect excuse to allow him to execute those plans should he still wish to do so. This was the original message that she was replying to. Mrs. Babbage, I'd like to address one potential security vulnerability of having an antechamber lever in the weight room. As the years have gone by, the Baron's frequency of working out in this room has gone from once in a red moon to as rare as a man without self-pity. Oof. As such, we find this room mostly relegated to guest use, and given that, an antechamber lever is not only unsuited, but also poses a security risk. I advise we either remove or conceal it and install a secondary lever to control the south entrance. Kirk Darren. It is there. It's behind that wall that I haven't been able to break. From Anne. Mr. Darren, if you have any more of those red and blue memo sheets, the Baron has requested a handful of each for a new project he is working on in the clock tower. For my part, I can't understand for the life of me why you and the Baron continually insist on confounding my staff and every other person who stumbles upon one of your coloured memos. I'm not confident confusion is the best security, but it's not my department, so I'll leave that up to you and the Baron. Anne Babbage. Bless Anne. Okay, remote terminal access. Let's connect to the laboratory. Let's set up an experiment. And, well, it's already done that. Should I call this, since this is a security thing, I wonder if I should count it as institutional as well. Type of archival materials, emails, type of workspace, security room, physical space, pretty dark. A little bit disorganized. Security measures. Sometimes it's locked. You need to have the password. Despite being a security room, there is actually no security guard. Everyone's on break. So, you know. Does the protagonist adhere to the security measures? Yes. I guess. Maybe. It's hard to say with this game. It really is. Okay, let's experiment setup. For each bedroom I draft after my second, I would like to gain a star, perhaps. We'll see how that goes. And I think I can log into the network, but Swan swung? But I think it counts as the security terminal connecting rather than... Yeah, this is the security menu, so don't need to worry about that. Okay. Well, let's see if we can draft some more bedrooms, hey? Maybe the parlor, and I'll backtrack and we can see... The garage. I'll come back to this. I need the utility closet as well. Oh, apple. And a wind-up key. The blue box contains this. Okay, that's false. This both of those are false. Okay, the blue box contains the gems. You will notice that a false box can contain the gems. It doesn't have to be the true one. Okay. Hallway. I was tempted by the rumpus room, but not right now. Not right now. You know what? Workshop, let's go for it. I don't know if there's anything that I can actually build right now. Oh no, there might be. Gimme that sledgehammer. So I used to have a piano. I don't anymore. So I cannot play this for you. But, you know, there are clues here. I think I do need to rewrite this because I remember figuring one of them out and I don't remember what the solution to the other one was. Let me... sheet music. This is actually, I believe, the 8th of 8. I believe it was the first word of each and then the bolded word. Alright. Let's, Oh, this is the boxes, the parlor boxes. And coins. I don't know if I have anything that can be... oh! Coin pass and lockpick. Coin pass and metal detector and lockpick gives me a pick sound amplifier. I don't know if I want to make that just yet. Actually, that was just the metal detector and the lockpick, not... Yeah, you know what, I'll do it. Greater chance of picking high sensitivity locks. I believe I don't get the original benefits of the metal detector now. I can get the pool later. Okay? Garage power on. And while I'm at it, I'll turn the gym power off, just in case. Oh, and I keep forgetting. Keycard entry system also off. So we can head back to here actually and quickly tweak the settings to have a lot of high security keycard security doors, all of which will be unlocked now. So that's a nice little thing that we can do. How do I get back to the garage? This way. Okay, this is the garage. Here we are. Grab some keys. Christoph, this is the 3rd time this month you and the car have been gone when your services were required. I don't care how long you've been driving for his lordship. Your absences must be accounted for, Mrs. Babbage. I have the car key, so I can't open this and get the stuff inside the car, but what I can do now that I've powered the garage is open this. And the reason that I wanted to open this and gain access to the west path, well, I can't go out this way. This would be leaving the villa. I can't go out this way, but if you come down here, down this little path, cross this small stream, and unlatch this door, we have now permanently unlocked the west gate, which gives us access to this, the outer room. I don't have the special floor plans for the hovel, really. And I don't have a shovel to make use of the root cellar, so I'll just tool shed it. Doesn't have the shovel, immediately gets the shovel. And also a watering can. Okay, I'm satisfied, but there are more doors to open. There is at least one door that we can open that we have not yet opened. So let's go do that. We go until we can go no more. How do we... Yes, it was the hallway. Yeah, okay. Is the passageway worth 2 gems? I don't know. I haven't shown you the kitchen yet. Let's have a look at the kitchen. We can purchase food here. The main course is served only in the dining room. It's going to be beef stew pie today, which sounds quite meaty. But I can get a banana for 2 coins, a club sandwich for 8, and a chef salad for 5. The chef salad isn't going to do really any good, but I am happy to spend on that club sandwich. I'm happy to open up the dining room as well, in fact. Although, I'm not gonna try and reach rank 8 just yet. Walk-in closet, let's go. You can see it's quite well used. A well-used closet. But also quite organized. A spyglass telescope. Gain an additional effect of each constellation observed in the observatory. Nice. I don't know if it works in past tense, but nice. You know what? Yeah, I'll show you the greenhouse. So, I'm just gonna water the plants to get some gems, but this is, as you can see, where the lever for the south entrance to the antechamber should be, but it's broken. And if I had, I do have the sledgehammer, but it's not quite enough to break through these bricks, so I do need to find a way to attach... I say it, find a way to... I have the workshop, but I don't have a battery pack that I can attach to the sledgehammer, and I think there are a couple of other things I need for that as well. Anyway, this is kind of sparse at the moment. We have sheet music number 5. But there is a way to get water piped into this room to grow quote-unquote flowers. But that's fine. I got a gem refund, so I'm happy. I'm satisfied with that. North. Let's go north. There's only one choice if I don't want to dead-end myself, you know? Oh dear. Let's... Oh, it worked. Leads to a room of a color of my choice. Where do we want to go? Somewhere orange. Somewhere hallway. Let's see. Can't pick it. That's... ah, well. Seven locked doors. And the dining room bell. Let's give these a shot. They're all locked. I have a pick sound amplifier. We'll see how it goes. I have been lucky. We are on the same side as the Great Hall Lever. Truth be told, I actually forgot there was a lever in this room. But, lucky. Oh, it's an upgrade disc. Nice. So, this room here. I really, I really want to, make sure it goes in the right direction. The aquarium! I can show you the aquarium. Okay, this is the aquarium. It counts as every type of room, in fact. And compass. Draw floor plans leading north more frequently. As you can see, this looks like the archive. The archives, doesn't it? So anyway, when we get around to draining this of water, there is a hint of some sort that is drawn on the floor of this tank, pointing at, I think it's this shelf in the middle. Sorry, not shelf, the filing cabinet in the middle. I haven't figured out what that means yet. I don't know if we will figure out what it means. So, this is the antechamber. We don't get access directly. To continue up, you must go down. And here we have the basement key. Now, that means we need to do some extra stuff. I have a decent amount of space to work with still. 33 steps. Wait, I have special key? Oh, right, basement key. know what? Commissary. Let's, Oh, upgrade disc for sale. Well, it costs 15 coins, and I do not have that. You know what? Maybe... Oh, I don't have enough for the gem set either. That's a pity. Guest bedroom. Guest bedroom will do me. Oh, it's a key card. I didn't need that, but thank you anyway. This is the east view of the house. Well, east view from the house, rather. Can't be bothered. Although, I did unlock this side. Okay, it's the pool. Let's go. It's an entire pool. It's a whole pool room. Look at it. Coat check. Check one item, retrieve it on another day. Bing. I would like to check in. This sledgehammer. Because there's no guarantee I'll find all the stuff I need to upgrade it in one sitting, in one day. So best to store it for when I need it. Yes, dining room is through here. Let's have this country stew pie. Boiled chuck stew layered and then baked to perfection, topped with a mashed potato parmesan cheese crust. I mean, the mashed potato parmesan cheese crust sounds delicious, thank you. Wait. There aren't any more free doors. Okay. I messed up. I messed up with the code check. That's fine. Let's go to security and do a bit of a room upgrade before I forget, because the upgrade disc will be wiped if I forget. But I would like my rooms to be upgraded. Oh, it was the nursery. Show me the options. Whenever I draft a bedroom, gain 8 steps. So that's a straight line upgrade. Nurse's station. If you have less than 10 steps when you enter this room, set your steps to 20. Or the indoor nursery. Whenever you draft another green room, 2 gems will sprout in this room. Oh. I think just the straight line upgrade is fine for me, I think. That's an interesting one. Anyway, let's call it a day. I can't use the basement key because I haven't done the stuff that I need to do to be able to use it yet. Mount Holly became a sizable manor of the dead. There were 11 dead-end rooms. Gosh, that's a lot of dead ends. That's fine. It's worth it. We made some progress. I love the fact that the day and number that appear above in in the air actually get reflected down here. So there is implication that these are real numbers that are real. This is real text that is actually floating in the air, which I think is pretty interesting. There's some interesting stuff going on in this world. Okay. Let's pop open the hovel. And before I forget, turn the knob. This is the second of 4 flames that have been lit now. There are 2 more. 2 more to go. A notice of termination for Mr. Ravane. Your half-hearted dedication and maintenance of the grounds have been greatly appreciated. However, I regret to inform you that your services as the groundskeeper at Mount Holly will no longer be required, effective immediately. This decision has been made after careful consideration and is based upon repeated observations and documented instances of neglect in the performance of your duties. The state of the green rooms in particular has deteriorated significantly over the last few months, which reflects poorly on the rest of the staff. You are required to vacate the hovel by the 20th of March, ensuring all tools and equipment belonging to the estate are returned to the toolshed in good condition. Your final wages will be settled promptly upon completion of these instructions. We thank you for your time and service and wish you the best in your future endeavors. Anne Babbage, House Manager. Yeah. I mean, he was trying to get to the 46th room, but yep. So this sequence of numbers in colors is actually, he's doing maths here. I think it's 45 take 2, which is 43, divided by 9. No, that can't be right. Sorry. 45, 9 is, this 9 is definitely a division. Whatever. Whatever. I will remember how this maths is meant to work at some point later. So he was looking for room 46, and that is, I guess, part of why he was slacking on his duties or whatever. At any rate, he got fired, as you can see. And quite rightly so. If, you know, trying to break into a very secret part of your employer's house, not great. Not the best look. And you'll notice that the position of that little bridging plank got reset. So you can't actually cross back over there unless you decide to do some speed run style maneuvers with glitches and so on and so forth, which I am attempting to play through this game like a relatively normal player, except for the fact that I already know a bunch of stuff. So, you know, not that. Yeah, sure, let's nook it. I just realized I don't actually need gems to access special rooms because of the hovels effect. You'll see that it counts, it uses steps now. I will pick it up later if I need it. Otherwise, it's just there for now, just in case. Closet. Closet seems like a good choice. I could do with some items. And that includes a black silk sleep mask. The first time I enter each bedroom with the sleep mask, I gain 5 extra steps. I mean, the sledgehammer is right here. I'm going to retrieve it and break open the trunk with extreme violence. Oh, that was a good choice. I appreciate this ivory dice with which I can re-roll my rooms. Parlor. I don't need the gems, but I'm going to do the puzzle. Because this is the kind of puzzle that I enjoy. The statement on one of the other 2 boxes would be true if you replace the word every with the word this. Easy. May as well. You'll notice, by the way, the pictures in the frames, they change. I won't say why or to what, but they do change. Okay, the chapel it is. Getting scammed out of my money. Not actually a scam, but, you know. Okay, what are today's constellations? Oh no, it's just a single one. Apples are extra delicious today. That means more steps. Oh, this is awful. Usually I would save a corridor for later, but Now, I believe this, yes, it is unlocked. I'm taking the gem. It is a reusable gem, apparently. How the crown has fallen. I want... What do I want? Another hallway type room, I think. This is... I do not consider this ideal, but, you know, can work with it. Okay. Keycard system. Security level low, please. And in the case of, whoops, in the case that power is lost, unlocked. Let's go east. My step counter. It is quickly going. I haven't actually drafted this yet, but yeah, this is a certain Baron Sinclair took a photo, took a selfie in here. using this mirror and a camera that was Syncaco branded. I actually don't know if there's any secrets hiding in here. I feel like there have to be, but I mean, I might just be overthinking it, right? Anyway. Redraw floor plans. Am I gonna be lucky enough to find the utility closet? I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. And this is the effect. I literally cannot see a thing. Oh, bedroom, nice. I'm not gonna complain. Cute little rascal in here. So cute. Oh, hello, buddy. Even drinks water sometimes. No, big stretch. Okay, enough of that. There are duplicates of things in this room, generally. But, lore-wise, someone's diary. Today is a good day because Simon is at camp, and he is not as much fun as my friends. I will not have to share my toys, and I will not have to share my room, and I will not have to share my snacks. Having a younger brother is not as much fun as they told me it would be, but today will be a good day because he is at camp. Herbie is mean and really stupid, and today is a good day because I threw away his airplane. Written in bright bold red. I also had more fun at camp than he has had in his entire life. May I remind you, folks watching this recording, that this is our player character. This is our player character. He wrote like this when he was like 7. He's only aged another 7 years since then or so. He's like 14 or 15 at the time that this is happening. Today is a good day because I got my brother in trouble for reading my private journal without my permission and writing mean things in it too. He also threw my model airplane in the bushes outside, but I got it back, and if he does it again, he will not get to go to the park on Friday, and I will make sure he gets no presents for his birthday. I don't need any presents because I have my brother's book because he won't stop writing about me, and today is a good day because I know he cries when he can't find his book even though he's older. He is a crybaby. Oh, kids. Today is a good day because today my brother returns from college and I get to finally return to him the book I took from him a long, long time ago. Hopefully you find it as hilarious as I do. I honestly have no idea how we survive sharing a room. All things being said, I wouldn't have it any other way. I still would rather have had a sister. Congrats on the diploma and welcome home, Simon. You can see he did a bit of growing up. Presumably, you know, after the disappearance of his mother. That kind of thing would force anyone to grow up, right? But yeah, so as you can see, Simon, when he was younger, really, 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 really liked red. Oh, it's the storeroom. Okay. The other door is through security. Commissary, I guess. I feel like I'm lucky in some ways and not with others. As I said, lucky in some ways and not with others. We can see if... I'm not going to say no to that, actually. Don't ask how the gem got in the coals. But extra steps to start the day, not complaining. I would like to redraw, please. My goal right now is to... Oh, here we go. Staff notice, June 15th, 1983. Out of respect for the late Lady Clara Epsom, the West Wing will be closed until further notice. While the floor plans associated with this wing have not been removed from the pool, we ask that staff members refrain from drafting them during this period of mourning. Likewise, any etc. may draft, etc. I believe that would have been Herbert's wife? Okay, utility closet. I will need the lights on in the dark room if I want to be able to see anything in the... Turn the gymnasium things off. Turn the keycard entry system off as well. And if I'm lucky, I will hopefully be able to find a magnifying glass somewhere. If I'm lucky, you know? Kind of don't need the ballroom. Not right now. Here we are, the pump room. This is the other thing that I wanted. Alright, so as you can see, we can do stuff with the water. And this is the diagram that shows us how to do it. I'm just gonna open up this room and see if there's anything. Am I even going to be able to get back to the coat check to put the sledgehammer in there? I don't think I will. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. No, I cannot. So let's abandon that thought and just deal with the pumps. I need to... Let's see. I want to completely drain the fountain. I do also want to drain the aquarium, but that can wait, I think, until later. But first priority is draining the fountain, so which one is... the fountain is number 1, I believe. So, let's see. I want to set it to pull from there. Or to that side, and also this side. And let's see. I should be able to pull from these to... let's see. Kitchen is 4. Pump 3, which pulls from tank 2. So that's this one. And the greenhouse as well is number 5, so that pulls from here. And I think the pool was this one at the back, which can go from either, I believe, or is it just from number one? Just from one. Okay. I don't know if that's enough. It might be. Yes, it is just enough to completely drain the fountain. Oh no, I needed to set it from over here. Now, if I wanted to find a way to use that, basically I have to hook up the boiler room or some of the powered rooms to this room, basically. But anyway, the fountain is now free of water. So if I manage to get the basement key, and you know, make it back there with steps left over, I can do stuff. I can do stuff. Let's place an order for some oh my gosh. Do I have the steps? Can I get all the way back? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes, I can. Just. I am so lucky. I'm so lucky. Yes, and then down through the commissary. There's no point, but, you know, for fun. I don't feel bad at all about wasting my Coach X sledgehammer because I got lucky. $11.28. Okay, let me write that down. That is the code for the orchard lock. And there are other things that we can look at here. I don't know who exactly these two maids are, but, you know, they're here. A better developed version of that. I wonder if that... I don't know if that's Marion, but this is the office. Here is a lockpick kit. I don't think it's always here, just often. Over here. Green memos found in Hartleaf's room are always false. So that is what's in the dark room. It is also a powerable room, incidentally, if you use the boiler. Let's call it a day. A respectable inn of the dead. That's pretty funny. It has both bedrooms and dead-end rooms. Okay, let's keep going. So, as you see, there is no more water in the fountain. I have a nice extra 20 steps. I'm not actually going to go down. You can see the coin that I dropped earlier. I'm not going to go down right now. I will go down if I manage to pick up that basement key again. But whether or not I will be able to do so very much depends on luck. Nice. I will never say no to a good metal detector. And the other thing that I needed to do while I was out here, I want to go open up the orchard. Speaking of orchards, actually, the whole reason that I wanted to do this as my master's project, to look at how indie video games portray archives, was because of a game I played called 1000 Times Resist. And unfortunately, because of the way that I ended up choosing these games, other way, did not end up making it onto my playlist. I would like to analyze it at some point through this lens and how does it portray archives, but it's not going to be as part of this master's project, alas. The apple orchard has been permanently unlocked and added to your campsite. Starting tomorrow, I will start each new day with an extra 20 steps. Here is Twisty Knob number 3. The last one is in one of the outer rooms. It is in the classroom, the outside classroom, which hasn't shown up yet. This sundial. And here is a note from the new gardener who took over after that other guy got fired for, not being respectful, among other things. When I first came on the estate in the capacity of the new groundskeeper, I was a little dismayed to find that my predecessor had kept no notes, no logbook, and no record of any kind regarding the various gardens and green rooms of the house under his care. As a result of this improvidence, in the first few months of my post, I suffered a number of embarrassing professional blunders that I believe could have been avoided with even a few scraps of imparting wisdom from the previous groundsman. To that end, I will make an effort to make some record of my dealings on the estate, inasmuch as it pertains to horticulture and general tomfoolery. Robert Nugula, groundskeeper. Among my many commissioned duties, I have been tasked with the conservation and oversight of Mount Holly's alluring grounds. My domain stretches from gate to gate and encompasses the apple orchard, entrance drive, and east yard. Fortunately for my workload, the maintenance of the west grounds has not been a priority since Lady Epson's death and the ensuing closure of the west wing. Nevertheless, I take some pride in my work, so I still endeavour to brush the west path weekly, even if none but myself take notice. In addition to maintaining the grounds, there are 8 green rooms within the house that require some level of upkeep and light groundskeeping. The majority of these, I discovered, are only draftable on the perimeter of the house along the east and west wings. The terrace, patio, veranda, morning room, greenhouse, and secret garden all fall within this category. The soil survey. One of the first tasks I undertook as groundskeeper was to conduct a survey of the various plots of soil underneath each slot on both the east and west wings of the house. And while I would have preferred a full survey of all 45 plots of the house, it was clear that the inconvenience such an undertaking would produce was in no way worth the extra data, especially considering the rooms that would benefit from this survey only ever appear in the wings. To quantify soil quality, I measured the soil's capacity to support crop growth and maximize the promise of high yields. The survey ended up taking 2 weeks due to some difficulty reaching the higher ranks, but the project was well worth the effort. As suspected, the room position has a direct relationship to the amount of fruit spread from gardens and the amount of flowers that can bloom in a greenhouse. You can see that this specific space here is the only one that you never want to draft one of these green rooms on. The rest are poor to good to rich, but this one won't ever give you anything. Smudge pots. A few years ago, the Baron made the long overdue decision to switch from gas lighting to electrical power. The installation of the new system was a substantial undertaking, as almost every room in the house had to be equipped with new fixtures and wiring. Thankfully, these renovations did not extend beyond the mansion's interior, and all the lamps and equipment used outside of the house are still connected and powered by gas line, including, but not limited to, the orchard's smudge pots. The smudge pots found among the apple trees here in the orchard are a critical necessity thanks to the cold temperatures and high altitude of the estate. These gas-burning stack heaters prevent frost and should be kept on during the winter months to ensure a daily yield of apples. When the smudge pots are not in use, the orchard's gas line should be turned off to conserve resources for the estate's other gas-powered machinery and appliances. Gas line valve, that's the word, valve! After a few months of idleness, I finally have a new cause to champion, and I have submitted a request for a change of scenery. Specifically, I would like to replace the statue of Arinda, currently in the cloister. We haven't seen this yet, but soon. With the much more appropriate angel, Rinna. After all, as beautiful as the statue is, shouldn't the greenery of Mount Holly be governed by the paragon of gardening? Though amused, I do not think Anne took the request too seriously, though she did humour me and listen to me rave and pontificate on the subject for the better part of our lunch yesterday, and she wonders why I avoid tending the cloister. Truth be told, I have forgotten how to access the inner garth, and am too scared of chastisement to probe for the particulars for a third time. My best rendition, pretty good considering I have only ever seen Rinna's depiction in the chapel. There you go. A little bit more about the angels, and a little bit more about various parts of the house. Specifically, the green rooms, and how to best make use of them. I don't bother remembering. I have too much else to remember, and too much else to take note of to bother with that. Maximizing my resources in that particular way, effort. So I don't tend to bother. And I certainly did not bother taking notes on that. Okay, let's go. Let's see what we can do. You'll notice that I have a habit of going east first for whatever reason. I don't know why or how I developed that habit. I just kind of do it. Lab. I can get the mail later, but experiments are now. Experiments I want once I find the coin. There we go. Okay. These are interesting choices. I do remember that this used to be one key, one gem, or one coin. I guess one coin wasn't worth it enough, so they changed it to be a die. Oh. See, I am not sure about any of these causes. This is fine. This is probably fine. Now, we have emails to look at. And this form to fill out. So this one is, I guess it might really be closer to an institutional thing. It's a lab. But I'm taking home family personal anyway as well. Types of archival materials are emails. Type of workspace, this is a literal lab. It's pretty bright. And, a bit, well, the usual stuff about the security measures. You know what, I won't bother filling those in. I'll just fill out the bit on physical space later once I've finished looking at these emails. I'll go bottom to top this time. Freezer access. Randolph, as I know you've been conducting temperature-related experiments this past week, I've tried my best to avoid accessing my frozen stock during your normal working hours. However, on Friday, I was making my famous black truffle pizza and had to visit the freezer for a few ingredients. I hope I didn't mess anything up. Chef, please don't worry too much about freezer access. The experiments we're doing aren't very sensitive, and they are already accounting for normal variations due to expected use and staff traffic. However, surprisingly, we did see a major temperature rise on Friday, which I believe may be related not to your freezer visit, but to the use of furnace in close proximity. In the future, you should try to draft that a bit further away, as the temperature rise from drafting that room has a major effect on temperature in the house, and even more so in rooms in close proximity to it. We haven't actually encountered the freezer yet in this run, but, well, in this save file, but it freezes stuff, like the amount of coins and gems and keys you have. Actually, I think it's just gems and coins, your stocks, as it were. And if you draft the furnace nearby, you can unfreeze it. I haven't been lucky enough to do that in my fun save file yet, though. Baron Sinclair, as we discussed in our meeting earlier this week, we will be sealing off the entrance to the Blackbridge server this week, as well as archiving all our electronic mailboxes and locking access. I'm not sure just how tech-savvy we expect the Red Guard to be, but there's more than enough data on our servers that these extra precautions are, in my opinion, the very minimum measures that we should be considering, given the likelihood of investigation next month. Randolph. Lock it down. Lock it all down. Yep. So as you may recall, if you have been taking law notes, this is around that time where, you know, they were preparing to shelter Marion if she was not already there. So, yeah. So yeah, this place is you know what? I'm gonna just go ahead and say that it is unorganized. But also, like, it's not dirty. It's clean. It's just unorganized. disorganized and a bit cluttered in some areas. That's actually all the sheets for archive information that I printed out, so I'll need to double up on paper when we get to the shelter. And so on and so forth. Dark room then. And instead of going directly in, I might see if I can open up something else here. Yeah, you know what? Pay a gem, get a gem refund. An extra gem refund because I have the watering can. Forgot about that. The trunk is locked. And I don't have any extra tools in here. I'm pretty sure my experiment trigger was to do with bedrooms, so the more bedrooms I have, probably the better. Yay, it's an apple. The terrace is nice, but nursery. Let's, Ooh. It is a genuine lucky rabbit's foot. Gives me a greater chance of finding items. This was worth it. And I didn't need to worry about the effects of the dark room at all. Closet or storeroom? Closet or storeroom? Storeroom. I want key. I have one key. I will not use it on that trunk. And yeah, it retroactively boards up the door. It's good to have security early, I think. Always pretty good to have security early. I will... Just the one trunk, I've picked everything else up. Set it to low, and change the offline mode to unlocked. Cool. That's all I need. I'm not going to bother accessing the others. Oh. I don't think I want to. I don't think I want to. But the nook. Let's go for the nook. Ah, that's right. Package. It has been delivered. A sleeping mask and a coupon book. I will never say no to reasonable discounts. Save 1 coin on each purchase I make in the estate. It adds up. But, you know, only if you are actually buying stuff. I'm fine with this, I guess. I already had almost no money. Oh, more money. Not saying no to that. How many stars do I have? I can't see a counter. That's fine. Let's grab the pantry. And keep on going. Oh, wow. This is... I've been dead-ended completely. Okay. Well, the reason I pulled the patio, buried below, occasionally you may discover small mounds of dirt in certain rooms of the estate. With a shovel, one may be able to excavate these suspicious dig spots. I do not have a shovel. I have not been provided a shovel here either, but there is something to do. The aquarium also had a patio set up, and I'm pretty sure there was like an X marks the spot or something on the barbecue, on the grill. I don't know what that means. I don't know if there's anything I can do, because as you can see, it doesn't appear to be interactable. So I'm not 100% sure how that works. Let's call it a day. There's not much else we can do. It's a quaint cottage. It's tiny. 15 rooms, tops. But, you know, we did stuff. We had a look at the emails in the lab. I am going to save and quit and go have dinner, and also I am going to print out some more archive information worksheets actually while I am off recording, and I will come back after dinner because this game's big, there's so much to do, and the gameplay loop is really very addictive. And the not just the gameplay loop, but also the mysteries. Trying to figure out the mysteries. So, for you, it will be the next video, but for me, it's gonna be after dinner. I'll see you then.